Hello, and welcome back. So today we're making another video here on recent changes in the app. Now, this change isn't something that was too noticeable if you've been watching the videos, because it was a bug, but I've been very careful while making the videos to not encounter this bug. But nonetheless, it was actually a pretty game-breaking bug for usability purposes, and I'll explain it here, and then how the fix was made, etc. So we're just looking at a game here, and we can see that the warfare card was just played and Charlie resolved the primary. So previously, what was going on was you started the game with your standard issued infantry based on your faction, right? So, for instance, as the Emirates of Hakan, you're issued 4 infantry to start the game. And everything worked fine with those infantry. You can move them about the map, take planets. The problem was if you tried to build additional infantry, you could do that. In fact, we've seen in many previous videos using a wide variety of methods that we could build infantry, right? But what I never did was take those newly built infantry and move them to other systems and take planets with them. And previously this was causing errors. The game, in fact, wouldn't let you do this. What you would have to do as the user after you built the new infantry would be you'd have to actually refresh the browser, and then you'd be able to take your new infantry and go move them and establish control of planets and whatnot. Now, if you're into the technical details of coding, I'll briefly explain here. So we bring up our units here, right? Each unit in the game has properties associated to it. Now you can think of the unit as an object, and the object has things associated, like literally this object has a color property and it's yellow, has a name property and it's a carrier, it has a move property, it can currently move 1 tile. And then there was this unique property called the unit ID. And the issue was that infantry and fighters, when they were being built, they weren't getting assigned an ID to the user to use. There was a problem with that. Other ships didn't have that problem. Basically, the ships that were finite in how many you can build didn't have this issue, but because infantry and fighters were theoretically infinite in how many you could have, for technical reasons, this problem was showing up. All right. So that's the short explanation of why that problem existed. But let's go ahead and see that this problem has been resolved. So we're playing here as Bob, and we're currently resolving the secondary ability of the active strategy card, which, as I showed you, is warfare. So this is going to allow us to build a fresh infantry. And you'll notice, and if I click the home system, or don't even have to click the home system, if I just zoom in, I currently have no infantry on any of my home planets, right? The control tokens indicate that there's no units on those planets, but we have control of them as a faction. And on our Arets, we just have the space dock. So currently, I've moved all our infantry to the Quan system. Right? Recall that we start with 4, and we have 1 infantry on Quan, and 3 in the space region of the Quan system. All right? So all our infantry are away from our home system. So let's go ahead and produce some infantry. So we have selected our home system. We'll click Build Units. I haven't selected a space dock. We'll select a space dock, and we'll click Build Units. There we go. So let's build 4 infantry. As the Emirates of Hakan, we're in possession of Sarwing tools to start the game. So if we want to produce 4 infantry, we just have to spend 1 resource. We'll commit those resources. Click the infantry icon 4 times, and produce. Alright, so clicking on Arets, we now have those 4 new infantry. Navigating back over to Charlie's tab, we're going to end our turn here, and this will bring us back to Bob. Alright, so we haven't activated our home system, so we should be able to move units out of there. And there's this nice slice of the board here, the barrack system. So we're going to go ahead and move our 4 infantry out of the home system to take those planets and make sure that this bug has been squashed once and for all. So, activating this system, passing on the resolve abilities, and now we'll take our carrier, which has a capacity of 4, so that's perfect. Selecting the 4 infantry, confirming our choice. Alright, so we've moved the infantry and the carrier to the system. That was never a problem. We could have done that before. But now comes the moment of truth. We're going to commit, let's say, 2 infantry to Berg, and 2 infantry to Lirda 4. And then we shall commit the ground forces and establish control. Let's check our planets deck. So there's Berg, and there's Lirda 4. Beautiful. And we'll end our turn. Alright. Yeah, so as I mentioned in the first episode of this series, the Changes series, we'll have the occasional video that's going to feature a bug. And while, videos like this, I know they're not for everyone. Not everyone's going to want to see these esoteric fixes. But I think in general, it's best to have all the information out there, and then people can be selective about what they want to see and what they don't want to see. In my opinion here, as a developer of the game. There are a couple other bugs that we currently know of that we're looking to fix. I won't mention them here because they'll probably show up in the future videos. I mean, hopefully, otherwise the game will forever be not perfect in that sense. But that's going to be it for that video. As of yesterday, actually, we currently have a nice 6-player game going. That's in a live 6-player game going on the public server. So hopefully, those 6 players, they'll be able to play through an entire game and let us know if they find any bugs that we haven't yet seen. Yeah, the six players, they don't include any of the developers, which is important because I feel like I've spent literally hundreds of hours now coding this game. So I think when I play, I kind of have a bias towards what I'm doing because I know which things are not going to cause issues, right? I want these guys to do whatever they want because they have really no idea what types of problems they might run into. So an unbiased take on the game is really important. Yeah, I mean, maybe at some point actually we might hop in there and preview what the game looks like because I don't think I've shown a 6-player game yet. So we might hop into someone's perspective and just give an overview there of what that looks like. I think it would be nice to see the whole board. You can get the 6 players here in the hood. Yeah, but they just started and they're currently in the setup phase. So maybe look forward to that in the near future. But that's it for today's video in terms of this playlist. And hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe and see you next time.